How do animals see in the dark? To human eyes, the world at night is a formless canvas of gray. Many nocturnal animals, on the other hand, experience a rich and varied world bursting with details, shapes, and colors. Do you remember what a nocturnal animal is? We had a video series about nocturnal animals before, nocturnal and diurnal animals. A nocturnal animal is an animal that is usually active and awake at night, and it rests during the day. What is it, then, that separates moths from men? Moths and many other nocturnal animals see at night because their eyes are adapted to compensate for the lack of light. Compensate means something like make up for. All eyes, it doesn't matter whether they are nocturnal or not, depend on photoreceptors in the retina to detect light particles known as photons. Photoreceptors then report information about these photons to other cells in the retina and brain. Our brains then sift through that information and use it to build up an image of the environment the eye perceives. The brighter the light, the more photons hit the eye. On a sunny day, for example, more than 100 million times more photons are available to the eye than on a cloudy, moonless night. Photons aren't just less numerous in darkness, but they also hit the eye in a less reliable way. This means the information that photoreceptors collect will vary or change over time, as will the quality of the image. In darkness, trying to detect the sparse scattering of randomly arriving photons is too difficult for the eyes of most daytime or diurnal animals. But for night creatures, it's just a matter of adaptation. One of these adaptations is size. Take the tarsier, whose eyeballs are each as big as its brain, giving it the biggest eyes compared to head size of all mammals. If humans had the same brain to eye ratio, our eyes would be the size of grapefruits. Whoa, looks a little freaky and scary, doesn't it? The tarsiers' enlarged orbs haven't evolved to make it cuter, however, but rather to gather or collect as much light as possible. Bigger eyes can have larger openings called pupils, and larger lenses, allowing for more light to be focused on the receptors. It's almost time to end today's lesson. However, first I would like to ask you two questions. Question number one: how do eyes detect light particles? Have a look at the options and you may only choose one. Option number one, nocturnal receptors. Option number two, photoreceptors. Option number three, homework receptors. Option number four, diurnal receptors. How do eyes detect light particles? Time's up. The answer is option number two, photoreceptors. And a quick hint for you, sometimes when you're looking at words and you're trying to figure out what they mean, you can try to break them down into smaller words. For example, photoreceptor. I think most of you should know what a photo is, right? A photograph or a picture. Do you know anything about how pictures are made? You need film to be exposed to some light, and that will create the pictures, at least the old school pictures. Digital pictures that are produced by our phones today and cameras use slightly different methods, but they still require light. So photo usually is related to light. Moving along to question number two. If humans had the same brain to eye ratio as tarsiers, how big would our eyes be? Option one, the size of golf balls. Option two, the size of lemons. Option three, the size of watermelons. Option four, the size of grapefruits. If humans had the same brain to eye ratio as tarsiers, how big would our eyes be? Time's up. The answer is the size of grapefruits. How do you do in this tiny quiz? Did you learn something today? I hope you did. Okay, well, good job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to the video today. I hope you learned something. I hope it was useful. And take care. See you next time. Goodbye.